Hello, farmers. It's Trevor here, and I am back for another episode on Grizzly Mountain. And we have overnight, this guy jumped ahead 2 growth stages. So it's one of the reasons that I started out with that growth state time mod or whatever it was called, is just because, I don't know, to me that's too much, especially if you get a bunch of fields going, and maybe it's good for multiplayer or whatever. And maybe if you want to do a lot of course play and don't want to do the field work yourself, that's fine. But certainly the faster way to make money. But to me, that's just too much growth that when you sleep for 10 hours of darkness, and you can see it's still barely light right now, that this would have grown twice. That's a bit much. But in any event, it is what it is, right? And we are making YouTube videos, so the timing does work out pretty well as far as keeping things moving for you guys. Otherwise, I might have just ended up fast forwarding some time to get to an interesting place. This is the field where we conducted our little experiment on the grass. But what I thought I would do is go ahead and get this harvested and get the crops out of the way so we don't end up running them over. But then when we're all done harvesting, I would like to see what happens when I run the field ender, whatever you want to call it, the field defielder. What the heck is that thing called? Oh, wrong one. Let's go to garage. Field roller. It's not really called anything, is it? Just the R300. Oh, you get the idea. In any event. All right, so let me, what I'm going to do is what I will do a lot, and that is to basically set this guy up for, oops, no. Switch. So I started unfolding our header instead of the machine. So we're going to get some straw, which is wonderful. One more step closer to getting some cows. And what I usually do, just because it makes a bit of a mess of it otherwise, is just come in here and just do a little bit of a starter. A lot of times that's just so I don't run over crops as I start this guy up. Alright, so now that we're in the field, what we need to do with course play, again, if you guys are overly familiar, let's turn this guy off for a second, is we don't have a field, right? Because he's, we've never used the course play on this field before. So what we're going to do is say, calculate the current edge path. Now you notice, because we haven't deleted the field with the grass, it's not really just going around the oat. So hopefully that's what we'll fix by going around with the field edge eliminator. And we'll be able to check where the field edge path is if we roller that stuff. So then what we can do is come here, and because this was the third field that we made, we're going to add this to the third field. So now what we can do is, if we come over to field work and come into here, we can now pick the third field. And the working width will be 9. That looks right. And the start location, we can just say, well, we want to start here since we're here already, but you can pick other ones. And as far as the direction goes, you can change that longest edge. See, there's my favorite longest edge. Manual, meaning which direction, north, south, east, and west. So we could tell it which of these directions we want to go. But we'll just do automatic. It usually does a pretty good job of picking it. We do want to do some headlands, just for the sake, especially because we got water on the one edge. We don't want him turning around in there. Bypass islands. I'm not sure what that means, but I don't think we have any islands. Multiple tools. I'm not sure what that means. It's interesting. I haven't paid much attention or seen those before. Maybe we'll look into that at some point. In any event, we are ready to say, give me a course. So see, he's starting off way over there. Let's just, for the sake of it, come over here to settings and see what he has us doing. Yeah, so see, they have us swinging way wide. Probably didn't even need to do my little header cleanup thing there. But I'll just come up here to some point which is close. There we go, close enough probably. I'm going to turn this thing back on. And I am going to say, yep, next closest point. Yeah, and so unfortunately, hopefully he doesn't hit this tree down there. I think we might get kind of close to that, but the field shouldn't be in the tree, so hopefully he won't hit it. But he'll go around, and then, like I said, when we get done, we can see about just, you know, getting rid of that grass as being part of the field. Let's see if he hits the tree, and then I'll... Yeah, it looks like he's going to swerve around it, doesn't it? All right, pull this back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chase him with this guy here, even though that's probably not the ideal tractor to use, because in the meantime, what I can do is start picking up windrow with this. Now you might notice a pause and a hesitation, and I think that has to do with the course play. And I've had that happen on FS17. It gets very frustrating sometimes. But at the same time, I don't think there's anything I can do with it if I have the course play. I remember in FS17 trying to get rid of that stutter, and got rid of it when I turned off the course play mod. So I guess I'm just kind of a little bit willing to live with that stutter. If anybody knows how to get rid of it, please leave a comment. I'd be more than happy to eliminate that. And at times it even happens, can't see. At times it even happens when I'm, you know, I don't have, I mean, this is happening a little bit worse because I have that combine running, but, you know, at times it even happens when I'm not running course play at all. It's just the fact that course play is loaded. Alright, well, I think you guys get the idea, and I think I'll harvest this field, and I'll harvest our wheat field. And then when I come back, we'll see about taking care of this grass. Like I said, we'll have a bunch of straw, and we'll have a bunch of oats and a bunch of wheat. At least enough, you know, I think with the oats, we'll get hay going. We'll be close to getting some horses between the oats and the... Kind of right up this guy's butt. No reason to be following him. We'll let him get ahead a little bit. It's probably very hard for you guys to see, but over in the upper left, underneath the helper, whatever you call that screen, the F1, you know, tooltips, is the is it inspector mod or glance? I forget what they call it now. But in any event, I can see my guy has 2,600 oats, 2,700 oats in them right now, which is great when you're running course play and you're trying to do this kind of thing that you know you can get back, especially, you know, we leave the field with this thing full. Well, you know, it's good to know where he's at as far as being full goes, so we can get the other chaser going at that point. All right. Well, let me finish up the harvest, and I'll talk to you guys in a second. Well, here we are, back over at our oats field. And right behind me, I got our roller to see what happens when we try to roll over this grass. Does it stay grass and not be a field and do what we expected it to? Or does it end up looking like around the other fields? By the way, over there's our wheat field. And probably hard to make out, but that's all harvested too. And I did want to mention that I just did it just out of my own curiosity. If we sell at a price that I think is reasonable, you know, like I've got a spreadsheet I might have mentioned in another video that says this is the price you should sell things at if the map is set up for standard. And just so you know, the straw adds about 33% of the total amount you would get for a field. So that's you know, half again, so it's like 50% more than whatever you would make on the, if you just made $10,000 on the oats, say, you would make another $5,000 just on the straw. So if you're calculating, by looking at the price of just the oats, it's sort of pretty misleading, So I've always considered these crops that give straw, to be pretty good. Now it is more work, which does factor in there somehow. All right, in any event. So one of the reasons I got the mower on there because I want to see if it makes any difference if we mow it, So here we are. And see, to me that looks like it's still field, right? And that doesn't look like it's changing it. It looks like it's mowing the grass, but it doesn't look like it's changing it from being a thing. So let's see if we can switch over to this and cut. See if this makes any difference. It might be a little hard to see if you put the grass. Oh, that's weird. Why aren't we getting any? Oh, this is erasing it. See, that doesn't seem to be making any difference. That's interesting. So now, even though it's a field, we can't knock it out of being a field, it looks like. So what we can do to confirm all of this, I think it's funny that we're erasing the grass. With the mowed grass gets erased by this thing, but the field doesn't. Yeah, there's almost no doubt in my mind that that's still a field. But the way we can tell possibly is to come in here with the plow, right? Because if it's allow create fields, let's turn this loud thing off. Lift this thing up. Let's go get the plow real quick and see. Before we start messing with that other field, it's kind of nice that we have this, call it a parking lot. Oop. Yeah, jump around till we get there. All right, let's go get the plow. If you're also curious, I kind of calculated out that we should get in the neighborhood of $100,000 if we do sell those crops, including the straw. So just on 2 little fields, that's not a bad profit, is it? So if this doesn't work, I'm not really sure how to get grass in a field or around the edges again, So when we paint it, it doesn't seem to grow. So let's unfold this guy, and it's on don't allow to create, limit to fields, because it's, if you look up there, the choice is. So if this is a field still, we should be able to plow it. Yep, and look, we're able to plow it. See where I'm off of it. So that means, at this point, this is a failed experiment, isn't it? It means that I just should do it like we did on the field and deal with the fact the grass won't grow around the edges. Obviously, this is not that big a deal in the grand scheme of life, but when I wanted to, I did our experiment over here, but I was curious about, about what we could do to get grass all the way around that first field, the field 1, our grass field. Get this guy folded. And then if I jump out, we should be able to then eliminate the field. With a little funny color there. And the other thing is I think when we bring this back, what's going to happen is we're going to get that silly, yeah, say we get the silly, not silly, but I wanted to kind of get rid of that look of being forest bottom, you know, forest land. And I thought by doing this, you can do it. Now, obviously, we can paint all of this, but again, I don't like the fact that the paint isn't actually grass, you know. At least we know how to get rid of grass if we ever have unwanted windrow that we don't want to pick up. Yeah, so what else could we try? Like, I tried cutting it. That didn't make any difference. While painting, I mean, that sounds like the way to go. So, like, what should we do over here? If we run around that field, it's not going to turn it into just grass that grows, which, you know, to me, this looks better, don't you think? It looks more, somehow more natural. Maybe that little spot there doesn't look too good, but, hey, you know. Yeah, maybe I'll look into it in between the episodes. Because now, well, we don't have to plow this field anyway, so... Yeah, but if we run the planter around, we're going to mess up our grass, I think. Because it's part of the field. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into it between episodes here, or in between breaks. I don't know how long I've been going. I should have checked before I started here, but... Good, so we have more stuff, and at this point, we're waiting for... our grass field over there. Let's turn on grass. Growth. You know, we're kind of waiting for this to turn into grass again, or grow fully, and then we can turn it into some hay. And then we will buy some sheep. But there you go, we're planted. If we come over here, you'll notice the weeds grew back immediately. It's still in the process of growing weeds. I noticed the weeds take like an awful long time to grow. So like this one, well, this grass doesn't get weeds, but if you look, I bet you this field will pop up weeds. So what I probably will do before I plant is I will just hold off on planting until these bars, you know, because it'll work its way down across the map. And we'll just hold off so that this becomes weeds, and then we plant over top of the weeds. So, not sure what we're going to plant, but we'll see. Doesn't really make too much difference. I guess, would be tempted. Wonder if we should do some potatoes or sugar beets or something for the pigs. We're not quite ready for pigs, but it's not like they're going to go bad if we put them in the silo. I don't know if I want to do, you know, more than one potato harvest, but this is our smallest field, so it might make sense to do it over here. We'll see. All right, let me cut the video here, see how long it is, and I'll come back either for a short goodbye or we'll be fast forwarded enough probably that we can do the hay. You know, I might plant something in here off camera. All right, and hopefully I'll find out a solution to our little grass problem in the meantime. All right, see you guys in a second. Oh, I think I have figured it out. I actually went and did an experiment, and I didn't try to get out of the game real quick, and I didn't save it. So we're kind of back to where you were, even though you were never there. It was just me experimenting. So the thing I didn't like about just planting the grass is that if you re-roller this, it turns back into this ugliness, right? But here's what I figured out. If you paint it and then plow it, and then plant the grass, and then roller it right away, the grass will grow. So I'll show you what I mean. We might lose a little time in the game, but that's okay. So we're going to go over to here and come over to here and here. Zoom in a bunch. And we're going to hit the P button. Where is the P? Or we're going to hit the X button. And we'll go over to this semi-light grass colored thing. And just as part of our experiment, I'll show you. So I'm going to plant this, or not plant this, color that. But we'll leave, here, we'll even color this little bit here. Not that it makes that much difference. There you go. So you see we have this plotch of, you know, the forest soil back behind me now. And then we have this, you know, where we just painted it. And if we come in here, let's unfold this guy while we're moving. I'll spin around and I have to go get the planter, which I had over here, but then saved it. So if I come here and hit V and then Y to plant fields. So what we'll do is we'll go over this whole thing and then we'll plant some grass on it. There you go. That covered the vast majority of it. So let's lift this up and I'm going to just fold it up. Well, you know what? I'm not going to fold it up. Let's leave it. I did take allow create field. So we're going to come over here because I think we're going to have to go around this again. Yeah, the best thing to do is go around and get rid of all that grass, plow it all up, and then roller it, and then I'll have to paint the parts that I don't like the color of. Not this one. You know what? We want to stay in that other tractor, as a matter of fact. So let's just drop this off. Go get our planter. And then we'll be able to... I think we should have everything we need in here, grass and whatnot. Or, I mean, seeds. If we want to fill it up. I don't know how many we left in here. Close enough? Yeah, we got plenty of stuff for once around the field. Plant oats. We'll change that as soon as I can get my fingers off the controller. There we go. Now we're set to grass. We'll unfold this guy. And hopefully we can go over this in one shot, but life probably won't be that easy, huh? Alright, so we'll turn this guy on. Yeah, looks like as soon as I don't drive like a drunken sailor. Go. So we'll turn this off and just get them out of the way enough that we can roller that. You can see some of it didn't need that extra layer of fertilization apparently. So now we'll come back over here. Oop, wrong machine. There we go. Let's roller this back out, and there we go, back with our ugliness as far as the what do you call it, forest looking. Oops, hit that thing. Whoa. Another thing I think I'm going to do is let me just, for our experimental purposes here, I'm just going to leave that row. Nothing else will know the grass grew, right? Like it'll grow. I mean, I just did the experiment, but you'll see. There we go. So now we have this grown. And let me fast forward time. And I'm going to just pause the video real briefly while I let it grow, which might be a couple hours. There's no sense in sitting here staring at it, both of us. And that, folks, is the look that I was looking for. So if you can see, this is where we left that one strip. If you see the darkness, that's what all the rest of that field looks like. But, you know, here we go. This is now grass, and then there's the ugly spot. I would say that, you know, it kind of leads to some interesting propositions for doing this kind of thing. Like, one of the things that, if you've ever worked on a farm, the areas that, you know, that things aren't running over constantly get grown up with weeds. Like, in other words, your farm will never look like this here. There'll be weeds growing, you know, like every damn place a weed can grow, especially on any kind of dirt or gravel. You know, I'm sure you've, you know, it's just, unless you spray it with killer, you know, you're going to get weeds everywhere. So it kind of leads to where, you know, we could make this look like a gravel road that had like a grass strip down the middle of it. You know, I know it's a dirt road now, but even then, you know, dirt road, you could have, you know, if you had small enough implement just to plant grass down a narrow strip, that would be cool, you know. Or maybe you could, well, whatever. You could roller just the part of it. Maybe it'd be nice if you had an even smaller roller than that. But there we go. That's the look I'm looking for. I guess we should do our confirmation experiment, huh? Which would be, yeah, let's get rid of this guy for a second. There we go. We got all our weeds in the field, like I talked about. All right, so we're on, you know, we're on normal, not create field mode. So we should be able to come over here, put this guy down, and only plow up that one section. So what this means for, quote, the ugly places. So it should only be plowing that one strip that we didn't. Yep. It's not even affecting the grass, so that's like, quote, wild grass now, not field grass. You know? So what that means is, as far as trying to set the border up on either one of the fields, or any of the fields, I would need to go around and plow it again, and then go around and probably use the roller, right? And then I would use the roller on it to see, you know, these ugly places like this, and then I would paint it, and then I would then be able to set the field up, you know, without the ugly places on the edges. Now, I can kind of probably tell where those ugly places would be, because this map doesn't seem to, like if we turn off oats, you know, like this seems to be fairly accurate to where those are. So we, like, see down there, that corner right there might have some, and the rest of it may be okay. They're probably, yeah, there. Anyway, I'm not sure how worried about all this I actually am, but it was as much a curiosity thing. Though I think I definitely want to go around and at least plow this field, even if I don't get rid of the ugly places, and get it to being back to like a normal field. I mean, I want the field to have a border. I don't want it to be all the way over here. So I'll redo this one. Maybe down there, I know the grass field's not going to require a lot of planting because all of the ugliness was well within the field boundary. So maybe what I'll do is go down there and plant the grass. And that's the field I wanted to have, you know, grass all the way around it. And we'll see. So anyway, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. You learned something about grass. You probably didn't expect that. But hey, it's good to do these experiments, you know. It's part of the fun is figuring out how a game works. So I hope you guys have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.